and welcome to my Taylor Tutorials YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how to play The Way I Loved You, Taylor's version, on the guitar. So stay tuned if this is something that you'd like to learn. So I'm going to label this song as a beginner/intermediate level song for a few reasons. But first of all, let's talk about our guitar. You will want it to be in standard tuning, and we're going to have our capo on the 3rd fret today in order to sing it in the same key as Taylor. I'm going to show you guys 5 different chord shapes today, and one of them is a bar chord, which is G minor, and that's kind of one of the reasons this is more on the intermediate side. However, if you wanted to ignore the G minor, you could get away with just playing G instead for the whole song, but I'll explain that in a second. And I also have 2 different strumming patterns I want to show you how you can use to play through this song. One of them is a little bit more straightforward, and the other one, the rhythm can be a little bit more challenging, which is the other reason this is kind of more in the beginner/intermediate level. But with all of that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the tutorial, and we'll start with the chords. Alright, so I've zoomed in a little to take a closer look at these chord shapes. The first one is D, which looks like this and sounds like this. Next is our A chord. We have E minor. And then G. Here's that bar chord I talked about, which is G minor. But like I said, if you have trouble with bar chords, kind of like how I do, you can kind of get away with not playing the G minor chord and just replacing that with your G throughout the song. It does sound a little bit different, but you could totally get away with it, so just letting you know that that's an option. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into those strumming patterns. If you're a beginner or somebody who has trouble singing and playing at the same time, I always suggest that you start out with a practice pattern, which is just a single down strum for every chord change. And what you want to do is play the single down strum, and as you change those chords, you want to sing through the song so that you're aware of what word you're singing whenever those chord transitions are taking place. So for example, if we were to pull up the first verse, you would start with your D. He is sensible and so incredible, and all my single friends are jealous. Okay, so basically all you want to do is sing through the whole song just like that, one single down strum for all of the chord transitions. It'll really help you kind of get used to singing and playing at the same time. It's the first stepping stone. You can actually do this on my Patreon page. I have this whole guide available to be printed out right now, so make sure to check that out. I will link it in the description box down below. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the first strumming pattern. So the first strumming pattern, as you can see, is just 8 down strums, and it's going to sound like this. So before we move on, I wanted to go ahead and underline some of these down strums, and basically all that means is you're going to kind of accent those beats by kind of strumming with a little bit of extra force to make them louder than the other strums surrounding it. So instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right? So with a chord shape on, it would sound like this. So hopefully you can hear how I'm kind of accenting some of those beats. And then the other thing I wanted to go ahead and show you is I'm going to put a vertical line halfway through this strumming pattern. And what that's going to represent is where sometimes we might have to break this pattern in half and play 2 different chords, one on the left side, one on the right side. So typically this is only going to be at the ends of phrases. So for example, if we were looking at the chorus, we're going to go from our D chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to E minor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then here from G to G minor, you want to split the strumming pattern in half. So the 4 first down strums are for G, 1, 2, 3, 4, then G minor, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right? Again, if you're going to ignore the G minor chord, you can just hold the G throughout and do the whole pattern. But if you do want to have the G minor chord in there, or sometimes it goes from G to A as well, you want to split it right in the middle of this pattern. But with that being said, let's go ahead and put some lyrics in so you can kind of hear how it goes together with the song. So on verse 1, it would be like this. He is sensible and so incredible, and all my single friends are jealous. All right? And then you can do if you are up to it is to add a palm mute to this pattern. And what that's going to do is just give it a little bit more of a percussive feel. So instead of just having it ring out like this, it's going to be more like, more punchy sounding. And I think this sounds really good with all of verses if you want to add it to the verses. He is sensible and so incredible, and all my single friends are jealous. Alright, if you need help with palm muting, I do cover how to do this on my other channel, Forever Faithful, so I will link a few videos right here that can help you with that. But again, totally optional. If you want to let it just ring out as you play, I think that sounds great as well. But if you do want to do the palm mute, I would suggest adding the palm mute into the verses and then letting the choruses ring. Of course, the other option for playing those choruses is to use a whole different strumming pattern, so let's go ahead and jump into strumming pattern 2. Alright guys, so strumming pattern 2, as you can see, is down, down, up, up, down, 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 up, and it's going to sound like this. Now I'm not gonna lie, rhythmically this one's a lot more challenging than the first strumming pattern, so if you're someone who struggles with rhythm and strumming and things like that, go ahead and stick with the first strumming pattern. It sounds great through the whole song. However, if you do want to use this strumming pattern, let's go ahead and kind of break it down a little bit more. Let's go ahead and just put our D chord on, since that's the first chord in the song, and I'm gonna play through this pattern a few times, and I want you to just jump in and join me whenever you feel comfortable. 1, 2, ready, go. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, down, down. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, down, down. Nice! So if you were having trouble keeping up, just make sure to rewind and play that over and over again until you kind of internalize that rhythm and it becomes a little bit more natural to you. And then once you've done that, we can add in some of these chord progressions in order to kind of see how it comes together with the song. So again, I'm going to put the chorus up on screen, and what you want to do is just play through this pattern one time for each chord. So we start on our D, down, down, up, down, 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 up to A, down, down, up, down, 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 up to E minor, down, down, up, down, 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 up to G, down, down, up, down, 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 up. All right? And since we're already kind of on here, again, just like with strumming pattern 1, if you do want to add that G minor chord in there, we do need to split this pattern, not really in half, but kind of like in the middle. So I'm going to put another vertical line right here after the first 2 down strums. And again, that's going to represent where we want to have that chord split, okay? So at the end of the chorus, when she goes, and that's the way I loved you, we're going to go from G to G minor. And what you want to do is on the first 2 down strums, we're going to hold out our G, down, down, then you go to your G minor and finish out the strumming pattern. Up, down, down, down. So again, this little split is only going to apply occasionally throughout the song whenever she's switching chords a little faster. But again, for the G chord, it'd be down, down, G minor, up, down, down, down. All right? So if we put the chorus all together, it'll sound like this. D, cursing your name, so in love. basically strumming pattern 2, totally optional. If you are more confident in your strumming and your rhythm and things like that, I would suggest to go ahead and add it into your cover because it really makes the guitar sound a lot more dynamic. Where I would suggest putting this in is on the choruses. So on the verses, I would suggest using that palm muted first strumming pattern, and then when you get to the chorus, let it ring and kind of let it be more loud, you know, because that's kind of when the song gets a little bit more intense. So that's when you want to use strumming pattern 2 and let it ring out. But I will cover all of this in my little playthrough here. So with that being said, I think that's everything I wanted to teach you. So let's put everything together to play through the song. One, two, ready, go. Sensible and so incredible, and all my single friends are jealous. He says everything I need to hear, and it's like I couldn't ask for anything better. Want to have fun playing through the rest of this song with me? Then make sure to check out my Patreon page where you can unlock access to this and all my other Swiftie sing-along tutorials. I will make sure to link that in the description box down below as well as in this iCard right up here. But yeah, I think that concludes the tutorial, so thank you so much for watching. I really hope that it helped. If it did, make sure to give me a thumbs up down below as well as subscribe to this channel. That way you never miss out on another Swiftie tutorial, and I will see